what are some basic steps once you lose your job? Should you first contact the mortgage company right away? Do you wait until you can't make payments? Do you contact them on your own first, then get an attorney involved, then try to do short
probably like how long, do you think your loss of employment is going to be temporary, just maybe a month, or is it going to be more like permanent long term? Because if you contact your lender and you say, hey, listen, I've lost my job, there's no way I'm going to be able to make my next mortgage payment. There's programs that they can work with. They might be able to try to get you into a loan modification right away, or they might be able to put you into like a grace period where they'll say, okay, you can skip 1 month's mortgage payment and we'll tack it on to the end of your mortgage, and try to give you a little more time to work out your situation. So it's always best to be, proactive and contact your bank and let them know what's going on and try to work out a solution.
What do you do when your bank is refusing to comply with any of the government programs?
It is elective to do them.
I know.
Yeah, they don't have to do the programs. What she's talking about is there's like programs out there like Making Home Affordable Plan, which is basically a loan modification. It's elective. There's incentives out there for these banks to use these programs. So they say, you use this program, get somebody qualified, we'll give you kind of a kickback. It's elective. You don't have to do it. I don't know if there's really any recourse. You can't force them to use the programs. I've never had anybody ask me, what you can or can't do. I guess if you probably have to do a short sale or a deed in lieu or a refinance.
Actually, it has to be the loan has to be in the hands of the family they already make. Otherwise, they don't let you do it.
And that's too bad. They should offer the programs. I don't know why they want it.
I talked to my loan officer and she said that a bankruptcy would help my mortgage situation, and I don't see how that. I talked to a lawyer about it.
Are you gonna try to keep your house in the bankruptcy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna. Are you behind on your payments?
Mhm.
Are you already behind? It could possibly freeze any foreclosure proceedings.
See, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's what she said. It'll freeze the foreclosure, but the lawyer that I talked to said that filing for bankruptcy doesn't affect your mortgage in any way whatsoever.
Well, it'll freeze the collection activity, like the foreclosure on it, and then if you're and I don't do bankruptcy law, so you're probably better off consulting with another attorney. But if you file bankruptcy, it will freeze any collection activity on anything, your credit cards, the repo on your truck, the foreclosure on your house. It will freeze those proceedings. But the banks do have the right to come into the bankruptcy court and do a motion to basically lift the stay, is how they word it, which basically says that, hey, we still want to go forward with this proceeding, please give us permission to try to foreclose on this house. But if you're filing bankruptcy and reaffirming your debt with the mortgage company, then they probably won't come in and try to lift the stay because they're going to try to work out a payment plan with you.
No, I'm doing Chapter 7.
Are you doing Chapter 7?
That might affect line of credit if it's on the second position. That might affect the budget.
Right. Well, if you're doing Chapter 7, if you're doing Chapter 7 and you are reaffirming the debt with the bank, though, or no, you're not. Then.
Well,
it'll just give
it
you more
seems
time.
basically like I still have to pay what I'm behind, no matter what, because they bought my taxes. So I have to pay them the money for my taxes and the money I'm behind on my mortgage. And I was just, wondering how it all plays into a bankruptcy, if it is going to help me out in any way or not.
Yeah, I can, after we're done talking, I can refer you to some people. I know that there's a person in here that might be able to help you.
Okay.
It's not me, but somebody else. Go ahead.
Assuming that you are making normal payments on your mortgage, is it a good idea to, if you can afford to pay over and above what your mortgage requirements are, like a month ahead,
or
2 months ahead, or 3 months ahead? Does that give you more time, a bigger cushion before they foreclose on you?
Oh, no, not really. What you're saying is that's a good idea if you're current on your payments and you don't anticipate having to be behind,
right,
and everything's going great. Then I always encourage people, make additional payments on your principal because it's going to decrease the length of your loan. So instead of being a 30-year, now maybe you're knocked down to a 22-year. But if you know and you anticipate in the future that, hey, I wouldn't do that. I would be setting that money aside and saving it.
Okay, so there's no advantage in making additional payments toward your mortgage.
I mean, if they're gonna hold you accountable for the deficiency and say that you're still gonna owe this money, then maybe, but in my opinion, I mean, if you're in that situation where you can't make your mortgage payment, you probably need to be saving that money for something else.
Okay.
Actually, I own a company called AZ Home Solutions in Algonquin, actually. This is pretty much all I do is help people.
Would you repeat that?
I own a company called AZ Home Solutions in Algonquin right here, and this is all I do is helping people in short sales. I'm not a realtor. I work with a ton of realtors and attorneys in here, so I'm very interested in talking to you as well. But if anybody has a short sale right now that they need an offer on quickly or anything like that, you can definitely talk to me. I've got a lot of answers for you that I can certainly help people. I'm currently helping about 88 people in the area right now, so feel free to talk to me as well.
Any more questions? Like I
You
said,
still driving to your car so fast?
I still what?
You still driving to your car so fast?
Yeah. I do talk a little fast, so if I
I don't
said
remember.
yeah, no, I do remember. If I said something that was a little too fast, you guys need me to repeat it. Don't feel
But at the
embarrassed.
closing, because we were short on some documents, and lady jumped to her car, go to Crystal Lake and back to
Oh
the-
yeah, that was one where we missed.
Barrington was in, I don't know, 15 minutes perhaps?
Yeah, I drive fast and talk fast. I do. Yeah, but it's a family trait. If you know my uncle at all, he talks incredibly fast too, and everybody says I can talk faster than him. So. If I said something and you didn't quite catch it and you don't want to, ask me to repeat it, don't feel embarrassed, or like I said, call me later or shoot me an email and I'll gladly repeat anything I talked about today.
What is the basic reason why the bank the mortgage company has to approve a short sale? Is it because they're going to be getting less than what their mortgage balance is?
Yeah, it's not that the bank has to. There is no legislation out there that forces a bank to do a short sale. They're doing you a favor when they do a short sale. And basically it comes down to a financial analysis. Is it better for us to go into foreclosure, or is it better for us to sell the house now, take our losses, and get what we can? A lot of banks, if foreclosures can be dragged out for a year, over a year. I've seen some who've taken 2 years to get auctioned off. So the banks really look at that and they say, okay, how long is it going to take us to actually get this house back, auction it off, or sell it, compared to we have a good offer on the table right now, let's take this offer and cut our losses. It's really just, some banks, I would say probably, 95% of my files, they will do the short sale. You just got to get to the price that they want, and they're not trying to take advantage of anybody, they're just trying to get the fair market value of the property. Most of the time the banks are gonna do it as long as you have a good offer on the table.
So when is the title really transfer on a foreclosure?
Are you talking about on a short sale or on an actual
On a
offer?
foreclosure, that's one question. And then give me the issue with regard to short sale.
Well, a short sale title actually transfers when you actually close on the property.
Okay.
So you
When
get your
you
short
in fact
sale
sell it.
approval, we come to the closing table, we sign all of our documents, title transfers then. In a foreclosure, there's a thing called a 30-day right of redemption, where basically after the house goes to auction, the borrower has 30 days to try to redeem themselves. And sometimes you can even do a short sale during that period. It's a little tricky and there's a lot of gray area and the tape you got to jump through and hoops, but you can. After that 30-day right of redemption expires, it's done. You're over. That's when the title will transfer officially. So I've had to do a few short sales during that right of redemption period, and it's a little difficult. It's manageable, It makes me very stressful.
Have to have a friends in banking.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
If somebody is, from a point of view of investing, okay, are they better off buying a short sale issue and of what time frame?
Are they better off buying a short sale, and in what time frame? Expand on what time frame?
Well, it's before this 30-day time frame.
Oh, okay. In my opinion, yes. You're better off trying to do the short sale before the auction actually occurs.
Okay.
And short sales for investors, investors